welcome back to the Little Blue Journal. I hope you guys are having an awesome day and a week and a month, and yeah, I hope it's been a really prosperous day and whole up year for you guys. I am continuing on with my Tackling Struggle series. There's quite a bit that I do want to convey and portray to you guys about that. A lot of topics that I think would be great, and I'm continuing on with that series. We actually looked at a struggle that I had sort of struggled with in the past before quite a lot, which was like your skin, battling hormones, puberty, all that kind of stuff. All good stuff, of course, but now we're gonna move on to something a little bit more different. And this one's about dealing with toxic people. So I think all of us at some point in our lives, we've dealt with a lot of kind of people that have been maybe toxic, destructive, also negative, and they actually do suck your energy, and it's really not good for you to be around those kind of people. So it's really important that you recognize that. So sometimes they can come in the form of frenemies. We do have those people who pretend to be our friend, but they're really not. There's a lot of different sort of personalities that come with that. But one of the first things I want to focus on with dealing with toxic people is that whatever the environment, whatever the circumstance, they always find a way to be negative, and they always try to find a way to sort of either pull you down, pull the whole energy down. If it's a group situation, the whole group's energy is low. And it's really important that people like us and everyone out there recognizes these sort of people, and not so much point it out. I guess if it gets out of hand and you think that you need to sit down and have a chat with them, then yeah, sit down and have a chat with them. But it's important that we do recognize that these kind of people exist out there. And I'm going to share with you some tips about how I kind of overcame these sort of people. So as I told you, one is some people who just, whatever the reason, they'll try and put the group's energy down, or even your energy. Even if you have the best news in the world, they'll try and pull you down. We don't want those kind of people. Like, you should try and avoid being friends with anyone like that, or having those people in your circle, because eventually, I'm not sure if you guys have heard this, but you are the average of 6 people around you. So if you're gonna be around those kind of people, you're absorbing their energy, and eventually that might actually rub off on you, and you might start pretending and acting like that as well. So yeah, the second one, these people are a little bit more sneaky. You don't always know if they're being negative, but they'll sort of say, it'll be like a backhanded compliment. They'd kind of say, hey, I think this dress looks really nice on you, but there's always that but maybe if you're a little bit slimmer, or if you're a bit taller, it might suit you more. So it's kind of like a backhanded compliment. That's just an example of something like that. Or if someone's trying to look at, if you're a musician or an artist or something like that, they're kind of looking at your work and it's like, oh yeah, it's good, but I've seen better. Something like that. So it's very important that you recognize those kind of qualities and traits in those people, because at the end of the day, no one wants a sneaky, toxic person around them. That's number one. So I'll first list out the 3 types of toxic people, and then we're gonna tackle how to deal with them. Third kind of toxic person is they full on, I think these kind of people, they're not afraid of what you think or what you say, and they all just outright say it to you, but it also becomes more of an attack. So it's more of like a personal or a business or some kind of, they have a problem with you, but they're not able to express it sophisticatedly, so they'll kind of spew and lash out on you, or they'll just something small might happen and then they'll just lose their shit over that. So it's really important that, again, these people might just outright attack you. They'll just kind of be like, oh, I can't believe you did that to me, I can't believe you would say that to me, and I can't believe you went and said this to someone, and how dare you. It's a full-on attack. It's very aggressive. You'll know their body language changes. They're more like how we are, more relaxed. They're a bit more like full-on fighting mode. And it's important, again, that you recognize this. And the first things first, guys, with any toxic person, do not be afraid. You have nothing to be afraid of. Okay, that's just how they are. They've obviously got some issues inside them. They have to have an outlet, and they're not able to find it. So they'll find any excuse to kind of blow up or say something nasty that doesn't necessarily be required to be said in that way. The first thing to do is, with a lot of this kind of behavior, you kind of observe. That's the first number one thing you do. Don't say anything, don't react, just observe. Sometimes it's hard not to react, and you know, if it's getting out of control and you're like, I need to say something to this person, they're insulting my friend or they're insulting me, just, you know, confront them in a way that isn't, I guess, it's not pointing fingers at them. You're not trying to say, hey, you made me feel a certain type of way. It's like, hey, I just wanted to have a conversation about what you said earlier. I just didn't feel it was very, you know, encouraging, or just felt very aggressive. You know, I just wanted to make sure that I told you that I didn't like how it sat with me. But say in a very calm, collected way. Sometimes it's really keep our composure. We don't lose our dignity in this. You know, we're not the ones that are hurt or toxic, it's them. You know, they have a problem, so they need to know that. The first thing you do is observe what's going on. If you don't react, if you don't say anything, that's fine. First instance, you're just observing. Keep a record of what's actually happening. Maybe have some kind of diary or some kind of record that sort of suggests, okay, this is their pattern, so this is kind of how they react to certain things. It helps you to further understand what's going through their mind. If it gets really out of hand, like I said, confront them in a very normal and a very calm way, because you're not getting aggressive, you're not attacking them, you're just having a conversation with them. And if they get even more insulted, just be like, oh, I don't know what's happening, I'm just trying to understand, you know, where that came from, so I'm just having a conversation with you. I'm not trying to, you know, I'm not trying to aggravate you or make you feel even worse. With sneaky toxic people, it's very hard to tell exactly how to tackle them. The best thing to do with sneaky toxic people is just sort of slowly cut them out of your lives, or have a really, you know, mature, serious conversation with them about it. Because if it's really bothering you to that point, you should sit down and talk to them. Point blank, guys, toxic people, you need to learn how to cut them out. Like, it's very hard sometimes, because sometimes they're like really close friends of yours, or people you work with, or your bosses, or it could be anyone, it could be your family member. So it's really important that you, first of all, recognize what's happening. Second, observe the actual situation. Third, you sort of, you know, then you find ways that actually deal with it and diffuse the situation. So a lot of people react and they get angry, and then they're like, oh my god, like, why is this person being so nasty to me? You can control how you react, and you can, you know, control your anger, you can control your emotions. There's ways to let it out, and there's ways to sit down and talk about it. These are the sort of topics I want to discuss with you guys. These are some topics that people really don't talk about, and I feel like we need to give more importance to topics like this. They need to be spoken about more, and they need to be, it's not that we're pointing fingers or anything, it's just trying to recognize and understand how different people work. There's ways to deal with this. You know, the number one way is to, you know, meditate over it. Like, just sit in a quiet place. Even if you're not meditating, just let nature take over its powers and just be in an environment where everything is much more balanced, because that's when you're able to think clearly. Obviously, when your emotions are really heightened, you're not able to think clearly. When you're in a calm environment, you're able to sort of sit down, relax, think clearly. For exercise, if you're someone that likes to go for a run or go to the gym, exercise, going to the beach, being in the ocean, you know, anything natural always diffuses any kind of emotion. We just pause it out. Therapist, if it's really getting to the point where you're having anxiety and you're having a lot of, you know, problems like mental issues from these kind of people, then you sort of approach a bit more of a serious method, which is, you know, going to a therapist, speaking to someone. There are a lot of different methods to help balance your emotions out, but it's important that we actually recognize these people and call them out sometimes. Sometimes you do need to call these people out, because they just don't have any idea what they're doing and what they're saying. So it's important that we recognize and bring it to their attention. So guys, that's my video on tackling struggle, and the topic this time was, you know, how to deal with toxic people. So make sure that you subscribe, follow my channel. I'm going to be putting up a whole bunch of new content in the next couple of months. I've changed my direction in the channel. It's a bit more about wisdom, spirituality, advice, because I feel that's my calling, and I feel I can really bring value into your lives by just being honest and real with you. So yeah guys, follow the journey, follow the blogs, have fun, and if you have any feedback, any comments, any suggestions, please send them my way. In the meantime, stay safe, stay brave, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.